Hello people, Lek here. Today I want to look at the new Tier 9 light British tank, the Vickers CR. Let's get right to the numbers. Comparing it to the other light tanks in Tier 9, it actually compares really well. This tank is very strong. You look at the gun handling, it completely owns any of those tanks. I've got the T92 here, both with the 152 and the base gun. You can see it has higher DPM than all of them. Better gun handling, better penetration, much better penetration, and just overall a much better gun. Where this tank actually is a bit weak, in my opinion, of course, is the mobility. Look at this. This tank completely is just an absolute sloth compared to these other lights. And having played quite a few matches with this tank now, I will tell you this plays way more like a medium than it does a light. And I think you should play it that way. If you play normal light tank strategy where you go forward of your team to spot the other team and then run back, you will die. It's just simply not fast enough to do that. It has a good top speed at 65, but with that power to weight, it is very sluggish off the line. You can hear it wheezing when it goes up hills. The other advantage it has over all these tanks is the armor. And I will show a little bit more about the armor. It does have actually really good armor. Gun is absolutely fantastic. So in terms of my setup for the tank, it's pretty standard. The couple things I will tell you, I do calibrate the shells because the pen is good for a light tier 9, but when you go up against tier 10s, you will need the extra pen. DPM is acceptable. Also, when you calibrate your HESH here, which you have HESH instead of HE, goes up to 116 with 440 damage, and you use that as often as you can. So calibrating does work. The other thing is use the advanced optics because once again, view range 310 meters, incredible. You want to take advantage of that. So it definitely plays like a medium, but it has light tank camo and light tank spotting range. So there are definitely advantages there. Armor is fantastic for a light. I mean, come on, look at this. Over 200 meters on the millimeters on the side of the turret, and the gun mantlet is really strong, blocks a lot of shots. Upper glaze is 202 right here when you're using the gun depression. So definitely very strong armor. Obviously the sides, rear non-existent, do not get HE to the side. Now, I've heard a lot of people talk about this online, how this tank is broken, SOP. I think that's complete nonsense, and I'll show you why. 50% of your matches are going to be against tier 10s, at least for me. About 50% of the time, I'm going against tier 10. Now, against tier 8s, this tank is an absolute monster, and it holds its own just fine against tier 9, but half the time you're playing against these guys. And anybody who thinks this tank is broken, just go and face some of these guys and tell me what happens. Because these tanks, these are your regular run-of-the-mill. I put the bat shot on there just for comparison, but look at all those mediums. They will eat you for lunch. They have way more DPM. They have way more armor. The gun handling is better than yours. They will run you off the map. So don't tell me this tank is broken. That's complete and utter nonsense. Most of these tanks even have better mobility than this tank. Okay, so you go up against a T62, a Leopard 1, or a WZ-121, and you tell me how broken this tank is, because they will tear you to pieces. So let's take a look at some of the matches. Okay, so I've got 4 matches actually I squeezed in here today, and these are in here just because I wanted to just showcase what the tank can really do. I'm doing a lot of fast forwarding to the good parts here, but Winter Malinovka, A side, of course, doing a little bit of spotting. I'm just going to fast forward to the boring stuff, but this match really shows the gun velocity. That's why I kept this match in there. Watch some of these shots. And the HE, of course, this is a T49. I'm loading HE, goes right in, 450, no problem. And basically ends his match. He's then deleted. Now watch these match shots across the map. Look at this. Look at that shell velocity. I mean, it's a snapshot from hundreds of meters away. The shell velocity is unbelievable. I almost got that one. And you can really see that when you farm with this tank, that's what I was saying. This is a farmer. Here's another one right here. When you farm with this tank, I mean, that's incredible. You can really tear people up. It's got decent DPM and a gun that just can penetrate a lot of things and doesn't really miss. So I just feel like you have to be very cautious, and that's what I'm talking about. See, this is a good shot. I made a great shot, but it was a dumb trade. So these are the kind of things you really can't take. This tank doesn't have that much armor. Something like a Yag Tiger will just tear you to pieces. This is a tier 8 match, so thankfully, I mean, there's really no 9s in here except for that Yag and Conk. So you want to be in a tier 8 match. Tier 8 match for you is a dream. This is a dream scenario. I mean, there's only 2 9s. This T49 does hit me with a big heat round, but it doesn't matter. He's over. I mean, I can just HE him apart. And then I'm swinging back to the middle and just fast forwarding again. See this ISU. Now I could have actually HE'd him right here for a full pen, but because of those fences, the odds of hitting the fence were too high, and he was a 2-shot regardless. So just do 2 AP rounds and be done with it. No problem. But normally the side of an ISU you could easily HE, about 116 if you calibrate, not a problem. Some of these matches I wasn't using calibrated shells, so it kind of goes back and forth. I apologize for that, but I was still toying with my setup. And I left the end here because I got a fantastic kill steal, but not because I'm so great at it, because look at this gun. Look at that snapshot. That's amazing. I mean, absolutely spectacular snapshot. The shell velocity is a dream. I absolutely love that. So good match, about 3,000 damage, 3 kills. Another match where I kind of really showed this is a tier 10 match, which I wanted to show a few tier 10 matches because it's really important. I could have actually penned this guy right here with HE, but I didn't have time to switch, so I took an an AP shot. And you'll see that the Progetto can pen the front of my tank. This is not a T62. So going hull down is not going to guarantee you're going to bounce, but you can get bounces if you're careful. Got a nice clean shot at the 62 here. Now here I backed up way too far, and you can see the grill. Ooh, that would have been about 900. Really be aware of your surroundings. You have no rear or side armor. Be really careful. Progetto again hits me, but the gun's very accurate. You can see I can pen the front of him without a problem. This time being a little bit smarter and not dying. This 111 kind of saved me by YOLOing in. You can see that's an HE shot, or Hesh really, into the Progetto for 550. I'm not going to just run out because I know the grill's probably looking at me. I tried to get a cheeky HE shot. Only got 150 because the Hesh doesn't really splash. And then the 62 is easily cleared. Again, I'm not going to push. The grill is right there. I don't want to get erased. He just fired, so I can get a nice Hesh shot right into the front of him. 420. Again, anytime you can use the Hesh, do it. It really increases your DPM to about 3,300. That's a big difference. And now it's just a simple win here. Not too exciting, but we're going to clear this 183 pretty quickly. But you can see that the HE and the gun velocity are the 2 key factors. There are a couple of other advantages with this gun, which I'll show in the next match. But overall, it's a really nice little gun. I have no idea how I missed that. But anyway, we'll just fast forward to farming a couple of these Moistion. I believe that is the correct pronunciation. Lance, you can correct me on that. But a couple of Moistion to farm, and I don't remember if I was using calibrated here. You can see there's a lot of red. I think I was not. Yeah, this was a non-calibrated shell match. You can see that it's kind of hard to penetrate these guys, and it's fine. I don't calibrate the shells because of the mouse. If I'm facing a mouse, I've done something wrong. So if I'm behind him, I'll find a way to pen. I calibrated the shells because some of the mediums, like the E50 and some of the other tanks, I just had some issues penning, and I found that if you get into a brawl, you're probably going to die anyway, so don't worry about getting all this extra DPM. Just make sure you can land your shots. I said the same thing on the FP301. This is another match where I kind of showed the accuracy in the HE, and here, naturally, you're going to go to D here, this canal. We're going to go to D, and I'm just doing a little bit of spotting. I can push up normally more than I would because I've got my whole team here. I thought this guy was going to YOLO in. He does not. He stopped. So nothing too exciting here. So I decided to go to a spot where I normally don't go, which is behind this little mill or barn, whatever this is. Because I'm a light tank, this spot is actually not bad because I'm going to go here. I'm already spotted, but I'm going to wait, 7-8 seconds, reset my camo, load the Hesh, and now he can't see me, the Leo, and Leo is still spotted, so I can just peek out, aim at the lower plate, pop him for 420, and then back out, and you see he just shot and he missed. So resetting again, and then I can do another Hesh shot right into the lower plate. Goodbye. So already 870 damage in 2 shots. That's why the Hesh is so important. Do a little fast forwarding here. There's nothing too exciting that's going to happen. I'm just going to do a little bit of spotting. I see there's a Sheridan naturally camping in spawn where he belongs. Where else would the Sheridan go? I mean, come on. Travel 0.08 kilometers and you are set. I don't know why that bounced. I should have just shot heat, I guess, but you can see even with the heat, it's not the greatest pen. 300 calibrated shells is 320. Still doesn't do much to a Doom Turtle. And here you can hear that. Oh, there's that sound, that buzzing sound of the missile coming at you. And that's my sign to get the hell out of here. Screw this. I don't play the game. When I get hit by a missile, I go somewhere else. Not my problem. I can go farm this Moustion, help the team clear him. He can shoot missiles at somebody else. I just don't engage. I don't care. So, and that's what I do. Instead of trying to play games or rushing those guys, just let them sit in the corner and shoot somebody else. I'm going to do a little more spotting here because I've got a couple tanks that I'm missing, and I'm waiting for them to clear that 215. If he was going to go in the canal, I would have popped out and hit him, but he is not going to do that. So I'm just going to wait and bide my time. And here comes the other Sheridan. And what, I mean, again, a snapshot from 300 meters, no problem. Piece of cake. Love the gun. Love this gun. 215's been cleared. Now I can get a little more aggressive. And this is what I was going to say earlier. So watch this. I popped the tracks off the T95. Now the FP301, and I'm going to use Hesh on the back of him. You can see that it's fantastic. So 361 here. He's got 580 left. And another, this one's a nice clean HE. It's actually about 520 and he burns. So just 2 shots I cleared the 95 from the back. And I'm going to track this IS-7 as well. So the FP301 is a very small gun. It cannot really pop tracks off the big tanks. This is a bigger caliber gun. You can easily track a heavy, tier 10 heavy tank. And that's really critical because if you want to COD somebody, you got to have a big enough cannon to be able to take the tracks off. This does that without a problem. Of course, the Sheridan hits me when I'm going 60 kilometers an hour. He hits me for 550, but screw you, I'll get you anyway. Go up there and take a pose. Fantastic tank, really is a lot of fun. I got one more match. This was actually my best match so far. So this was actually one of my first matches, of course. I was not using calibrated shells here, and I got tier 8s. Again, I got all but 2 of their tanks are 8, so it's the ideal scenario for this tank. And I'm at Mayan Ruin. I'm going to go right to C. Trying to spot, trying to gap. I can be more aggressive because they're 8s. I get popped here by the 301, and I just take a wild shot that goes absolutely nowhere, and then I'm just going to go down here. I do not want to get absolutely farmed. And we've got a Pershing that's just pushing forward blindly, paying no attention, my kind of person. I want to get the Hesh shot into the engine. Took another one from that 301. He's on me like stink on poo. And I know I want to get rid of him because he clearly is focusing me, which is what he should do. Because he sees tier 9, you want to get rid of him. Right when I get ready to go after this guy, I noticed, oh, look at this little tree. An RHM I should have shot, but I thought he was going to hit me, so I backed off and shot into the air. That was a dumb waste of a shell. So now I've got 2 people here, and I'm trying to decide what I want to do. I really want to clear the RHM, but 301 is clearly the better player. 440 Hesh, he misses, so I can go up and take another one. Keeping an eye on the 301. The advantage I have is I'm hauled down 301, has a hard time pinning the front of my tank, and he bounces. And that was an APCR he bounced, by the way. So, or no, I'm sorry, that was an AP. That was 190 AP round. So he has a hard time, even though the pin on the tank's really good, he's still having a hard time pinning me because I'm using the gun depression. So I'm kind of choosing to ignore him because I really want to clear the RHM. IS is rushing us, but if I turn around and focus the IS, this 301 will eat me alive. I've got to get rid of him. So I drop the adrenaline, get another bounce off this guy, and then I can just clear him. Then I can go back and deal with this IS, which unfortunately is beating the crap out of our 34-3. And so, again, we got 5 on 3, so I figure we're in good shape. Again, the game ends up being a lot closer than you'd think at this point. This was a dumb shot. IS's sidearm is so troll, and I just should have aimed for another half second. I would have had a much better shot. And 34 is gone, and naturally, like any guy who doesn't, by the way, did not help me, I'd like to point out, and then gets killed, the whining begins. He begins to spray the chat with pointless, inane whining about backing up your teammates, blah, blah, crying. Of course, you see the guy's name, you realize that he's an idiot. Dealing with an IS-3 is not a problem for this tank. I was trying to get C capped. This was a really stupid move. I pushed in just to get the shot and traded 405 for 308 or 328, whatever it was. A stupid move. Don't trade shots, people. That was dumb. So you can see I just escaped getting hit in the back of the head by the Jagdtiger, which was a really lucky shot. Here, once again, I'm trading 312 for 478. Again, 2 stupid trades. I got C-cap, but because of the 2 dumb trades, I'm now 1 shot. And I realized that I am kind of at risk of dying for no reason. So don't trade shots like that. It was just stupid. So this guy has no camo, but I have to admit he's a better player than I realized. And for a member of the no camo brigade, he's a solid player, and the tank is amazing. I mean, the Jagdtiger is so strong. So that was really stupid. I got lucky and bounced him. I thought I was below his gun line, but Jagdtiger has plenty of gun depression. So I got really lucky there. And honestly, if that would have hit, we would have actually lost the game because the two people who are helping me here, even though they had plenty of hit points, are actual morons. So I'm kind of realizing the way this KB4 is getting taken apart that if I die, we are going to lose. So I'm just letting them get farmed for damage while I take shots at this guy. I'm desperately trying to clean. That was just unlucky. That was a good shot. I tracked him, but it didn't do any damage. And once again, I know this low is probably going to die, and I've got a couple more chances to get this guy. The low, just, I mean, just an absolute idiot. I don't know what he's doing. And there I go in, get a nice clean shot. That is a mastery. Big game, 4,700. I love this tank. I definitely think you guys should go get it. Hope you enjoy the replays and the review, and please subscribe to the channel. I will do the tier 10 as soon as I get it next week.